What up, wolves? Blade Master here, back with some more Total War Rome 2 online action. And this is going to be kind of not really a controversial video, but it's it's basically a controversial choice picked by my opponent. I'm playing a heavy cavalry from the Han clan, an active poster from the on the Total War official forums, and I've taken Pergamon in this matchup. He's taken Parthia, and like right off the bat, we can see there's something kind of weird with this Parthian army that my opponent's brought. He's gone with only cavalry and only shock cavalry, only skirmishers, and a couple of horse archers. So he's brought 4 Eastern slingers, and he's brought a couple of Parthian foot archers. Oh no, 4 Parthian foot archers and a couple of Persian light archers, and 4 Eastern cataphracts, a couple of royal cataphracts, and 2 mercenary Sarmatian or mercenary Scythian horse archers. I've taken Pergamon, and I've brought 3 Picpeltas, a line of Levy pikemen, and 3 Thuria spears, a couple of Agima spears, 4 citizen cav, 1 Pergamene noble cavalry, and one of my Agima spears is chasing off after his Sarmatian horse archers. Now, I mean, the reason why I don't want to pass judgment too quickly on just when this video is starting, but the reason why I don't really like fighting up against this type of army is something that I'll be able to explain to you guys when this battle gets over, and you can get a small hint of why I might not like this army by looking at the battle timer now. 16 minutes and 53 seconds left before this battle gets over. Now, you might be wondering, why do I care, or who am I to say that this army is not a good army to pick when, well, basically I don't want to take too much credit for it, but I started the whole infantry spam with the whole Lusitani thing. And that's for one main reason. Whether you win or lose with infantry spam builds, the fact of the matter is the battle will get over quickly. So either you get your ass whooped in 5 minutes, or you whoop someone's ass within 5 minutes. The problem with this type of army, with this Parthian skirmish heavy / cavalry heavy army, is sooner or later, once even if I'm able to kill off all of these cataphracts, I will be left to deal with a bunch of slingers and a bunch of Parthian foot archers, and that's fine. But the thing is, my opponent, once the game starts to close down, my opponent has too much of an incentive to just keep running around. Now, let's go back to the action. I've charged one of his cataphracts with my citizen cav. They're going to get slaughtered, but I charged them so that they can hold one of them in place so that my Agima spears can start showering their javelins. Agima spears are very good units and probably one of the best units to take down cavalry. So they are going to fire their javelins, and that's going to destroy these Eastern cataphracts. You can see they've already taken 5 casualties so far. I'm also going to charge one of his Eastern cataphracts on his other flank, and then use 1 citizen cav to try and catch as many of his slingers as possible. And of course, I'm going to pull through the fuck out of this citizen cav. Like, don't ever expect me to not honor some stupid rule about not pulling through, especially when there's a target as juicy as this. Of course, I'm going to pull my citizen cav through and let them get as many kills as possible. They're just racking up the kills. 80 kills, 90, 100, 102. They're about to get a ton of kills. Eastern slingers are wavering now, but my citizen cav on this side is dead. I charged in with my Pergamenes noble cav onto his cataphracts, and Pergamenes noble cav just not really good, especially against Eastern cataphracts. Probably they're best suited to killing off infantry. And these citizen cav have got 161 kills right off the bat. The heavy cavalry slingers have all routed, and that's actually a pretty big boost. If I can manage to shatter them early on, that'll be much less of a headache for me in the future, because these units have a ton of ammo. So it could potentially turn into one of these this entire cat and mouse chase, where I'll be chasing him off through the field, and he'll just be running away with the slingers for the entire match. His Eastern cataphracts are starting to die now. One of them has been depleted to around 10 units. The other one has gotten caught in this big blob over here, and I should be able to bring in one of my Thuria spears or my Agima spears to support that battle. But his Eastern slingers have gotten back from that initial morale shock. My citizen cav have died, and now his cataphracts, one of his cataphracts are basically dead. I didn't put any of my levy pikes on pike phalanx as soon as I saw his army, because I knew that they're going to need their shields. So if I put them on pike phalanx, they can't raise their shields above their heads to protect them from enemy missile fire. So that would be pretty catastrophic for me. That's why I never turned on pike phalanx throughout this entire game. He's now going to just keep cutting back throughout this entire matchup. And meanwhile, I'm not even going to pay attention to this little blob over here, because his Eastern Cataphracts by now are quite depleted. He's got one that's at half strength, and they're going to charge into the rear of this Thuria Spear unit, but they are full strength. So these Thuria Spears, even though they'll take a lot of casualties from the initial charge, they'll be able to kill off that other Cataphract. So his Parthian 4 archers are going to keep firing in. I'm just going to fast forward this, double speed, triple speed, whatever. I'm going to take every opportunity that I can to start showering his men with javelins. Sometimes, the skirmish AI just doesn't really activate, so you can get away with, showering a couple of javelins. So far, one of my levy pikemen have died and routed because of, constant fire from like 8 skirmishers. But I'm getting some kills. I'm circling around with my Agima Spears General. Meanwhile, I was chasing off one of his mercenary Sarmatian horse archer with one of my Thuria Spears, but they've died from those horse archers constantly firing on them. He's got one Eastern Cataphract unit that's at 15 men. I've got a Thuria Spear left with around 79 men. And I've turned off formation attack with one of my Thuria Spears, and they're just going to chase after these Persian light archers. And if they can catch them, they'll probably kill all of them. Another reason why I don't think this is a good build to bring in general is because this is just a really stupid build. It's not going to win you any match. It's going to require far too much micro for it to even be worth it. Of course, there are many builds that don't look good on paper but can actually win you a game with decent micro. But with this sort of build, you're just going to need to micro so much, and at the end of the day, there's just very little payoff. Especially if you're going to bring something like 4 or 5 Eastern Slingers. Look, I mean, they've hardly gotten any kills. This Thuria Spear has gotten into his Persian light archers. I turned on square formation so that they can increase their bracing a little bit, and this is going to create this huge blob here, which my picked Peltas can shower their javelins upon. Meanwhile, I'm also chasing off with some more of my Thuria Spears, and all he's going to do is just pull through. My Agima Spears General got a great javelin volley over there. Probably caused a lot of HP damage, if anything. His Royal Cataphract Gen has got only 18 kills so far. He's got one more Eastern Cataphract here. This only got 53. One more Royal Cataphract that's got only 9 kills, and it's getting bogged down by this Thuria Spear unit. So that's going to be very good for me. 96 kills on one of my Thuria Spears so far at single experiential run. They've done pretty well, even though I didn't really do anything special with them. Let's keep fast forwarding. So this again, I mean, I'm just going to keep chasing off. It's already, the match is already showing indications of what it's going to be in the future. My pick Peltas, I set them on an attack order from these Parthian 4 archers, and he's going to charge in with his mercenary Sarmatians. But pick Peltas are amazing in melee, so they're just going to slaughter these mercenary Sarmatian horse archers. But he is coming in with his Royal Cataphracts and his Eastern Cataphract units for what should be a pretty devastating charge, I'd say. But the fact that these pick Peltas are so spread out means that that initial charge is not going to create too much of or too many casualties at once. So they actually might be able to hold out for a couple of seconds, or enough time for my pick Peltas to maybe shower a couple of javelin volleys. But it's not going to be enough because he's basically pulled through with all of his Royal Cataphracts, Eastern Cataphracts. Again, I have no problem with pulling through mechanic. I mean, you'd be a fool not to pull through your units in that situation. But once they have pulled through, it's going to give enough time and space for my pick Peltas to shower some javelin volleys. And of course, that's going to whittle down some more of these units. He's put on second wind on his Royal Cataphract Gen. Again, a very smart move. Cataphracts are the only units I think now that have trample ability. So if you've got a Royal Cataphract Gen, it's always a wise move to have or to use the Strategist General so that you have access to second wind. He's going to come in for a second charge with his mercenary Sarmatians on my already depleted pick Peltas, but again, I don't think that's going to be enough. They haven't taken any casualties from that charge. I'm going to keep chasing off his Eastern Slingers. Actually, he doesn't have any Eastern Slingers at this point. No, he's got two Eastern Slingers who are basically very, very depleted. 22 men on one, 31 on the other. He's going to come in for another charge with his mercenary Sarmatians. Again, he can charge me as much as he wants. Especially on units like these pick Peltas, they're just not going to take any casualties from that. They're instead going to get a lot of kills. These Thuria Spears, what I did was I didn't set melee attack orders. I allowed them to shower 1 or 2 javelin volleys. Again, that was not very useful because they didn't have any ammo left. And now I'm just going to set them on an attack order to just chase off some of these Parthian 4 archers. You can see we're getting pretty close to the red line at this point, so that could actually mean that I can catch at least some of his units. So I've basically tried to corral and done an okay job at corralling his units. He's got one Persian light archer here that's behind my troops. I've got I believe I had 2 or 3 levy pikemen at this point. Yeah, one full strength levy pikeman and a couple depleted ones. Some Thuria spears that are like 78 men, whatever. Some pick peltas that are basically at full strength. And just my Agima spears general, who's got, they're about to get a single experience chevron and they're full strength. So at this point, it's really not much that he can do. He's got like a royal cataphract that's at 45 men, but again, they're getting just eaten up by those javelins. Even though they aren't dying, that's just a ton of HP damage on these guys. 36 units left, 33, 31. And they're going to, these Eastern Royal Cataphracts are going to try and charge into my Pick Peltas. That was a very weak charge because these are units that are at very tired morale. His general, though, is probably at active. So, yeah, because he used a second wind that actually allowed them to freshen up. Royal Cataphracts Gen getting a single experience chevron. His other Royal Cataphract doing absolutely nothing in this game so far. Just goes to show, why I think that this build is more than anything is just a nuisance. You're not getting any sort of use for your Royal Cataphract units. These are units that can easily get you 300 to 400 kills in a game. But because of bringing such a build, you're basically shooting yourself in the foot because you have no anvil for your cataphracts and your shock cap to be the hammer for. That's one. And second, this is just plain, it's not a good build. At least with a melee infantry only spam, you had some sort of stability, and in this you just don't. And yeah, that's all it's going to boil down to, is having these 18-minute long matches where all your opponent and all you do is run away from your opponent, and all your opponent does is just chase after you for the entire match. So yeah, just killing off some more of his Persian light archers. At this point, I didn't really care if I wasted my ammo on his Persian light archers. All I wanted to do was end the game so I could kill off as many of his units as possible, create some sort of morale shock, and just end this damn game. You have to realize this was at like 16 minutes in game time, so with the lag, because this dude is from China, so considering the lag, I think it was like around 25 minutes for this one game. Definitely not what I was expecting. He's going to charge into my depleted Pick Peltas again. At this point, didn't really care. I just have far too many units for me to lose this game. And I asked him, how much ammo do you have left? He said he only has a little bit of ammo. He was a nice guy. Like, he didn't say anything bad, or he didn't like shit talk me or anything. It's just that I just don't like this build. This is just a poor build in my opinion, and I don't know. I just don't like the way this game was played at all. 1 minute and 20 seconds left. At this point, I think I called GG. I'm not really sure. Maybe he called GG. I just created this line here, and at this point, yeah, he basically finished off all his ammo, so his units start to waver because the balance of power. Yeah, you can see the balance of power has been rising up because his units are all out of ammo, and that's the end of this game, you guys. So definitely not the most exciting game, but I don't know. I just wanted to bring this video to you guys because if I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about this. Was this a legitimate concern of mine, or is this an okay build? On the one hand, he did bring in an interesting topic with infantry spam videos, as in or infantry spam builds, saying that how is this any different from infantry spam? And to be fair, the only point of contention that I can bring with that is that at least an infantry spam lasts for a shorter period of time than a skirmish / cataphract spam. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed this video and stay tuned for more. Peace.